Hello, YouTube. Tammy here as a yarn crafter with another installment of Things We're Making Thursday. But before we get into that, I know a few months ago now, I think it was 2-3 months ago, I kind of learned a new little trick on how to share split screen kind of idea. And I thought, wow, this is actually easier than I thought it would be. But on my own, I learned how to do it. And the way I used to share photos, if I was going to share them, was I would make a separate photo album on my Facebook group and share that photo album on my screen with you guys to show you, other items I made that fell in said category. I didn't really like doing it that way just because it showed more of stuff that I didn't want shown. So then I got mucking around a few weeks ago on StreamYard, and that's why I'm recording my videos on. And I thought, okay, if I bring up my photo gallery off of my hard drive itself, there's got to be a way to, split screen and share it. So I did figure it out. And then, of course, when I figured that out a few weeks back, I was just kind of playing with it. I didn't actually use it that week, but also didn't make notes on how I did it. So today, when I went to go start this video, I thought, okay, I know I can share this photo album. How do I do it? And I couldn't remember. It took me a few minutes, but I do have it figured out. But we're going to backtrack for a moment here now. Things We're Making Thursday. It started back with a small group of content creators, as I like to call them, the Things We're Making Thursday godmothers, because, they're the inventors of it. There was I think 4 or 6 YouTubers together kind of thing, got together and said, hey, let's do this little collab, have some fun with it. So in 2023, they came up with 12 free crochet patterns, and they decided, okay, this pattern will be this month, this will be this month, and assigned each pattern a month. Then over the year, the channel grew pretty big. I followed but did not participate in 2023. But I did occasionally share some links to a knitted version of whatever it was they were making that was similar. I think 1 or 2 of them were very, very similar. Now, there is a group over on Facebook that Jen from Jenna Stitches, I believe is her YouTube channel, she created, called Things We're Making Thursday. You're more than welcome to go over there and, join them, and you can share anything. It doesn't even have to be whatever it is we are making for Things We're Making Thursday. You can share yarn, you can just sit and chat, if you've got a question about something. It's a very, very laid back group. So anyway, because I'd shared a couple knitted versions, and I know Erin over at Crafting Kitty, in her Things We're Making Thursday videos, did the same idea, where she'd go out looking for the odd knitting pattern that was similar to what we were making that month, and she would share it in her videos. So they decided for 2024 they'd switch it up, and this is when I joined actually participating. And what they did was they gave us a theme each month, and you could either knit, crochet, weave, loom, knit, quilting, sewing. They spread it out a little further, and I actually enjoyed it very much so in 2024. I did participate every month, and then they decided to switch it up even a little bit more for 2025. Again, we have themes each month, and for the month of February of 2025, our theme is scarves. I did have a video last week of a red one I made. And like I said, today's is just going to be a slideshow of different ones I've made in the past. But this year they kind of want you to design your own item. So scarf, it's pretty, all the items that are on the list, more or less just pick out a stitch that you like, and then you can pick your own size, length, width, so on and so forth, type of yarn you're going to use. Very simple. Anyway, so we're going to give me a minute. I'm going to be fumbling here for one moment, trying to bring up the file I need. Okay, let's do present. I know, I'm talking to myself. I am so sorry. I'm still kind of working out the kinks. Ah, look at that. There it is. Okay. So, this first scarf here is the one I made last week. So, if you'd watched my video last week for Things We're Making Thursday, you would have saw this beautiful red heart. Nope, sorry. It was made with Burnett yarn in a waffle stitch. I had to think from it, which one did I use? It was my Burnett yarn. Very nice plump stitch. If you want to make a scarf, or if you're making like, I think this would work really good as a nice warm blanket, or if you're going to make a really somewhat of a warm cardigan. I think the waffle stitch, so if you can figure out a way to do your increases or decreasing if there's called for in the pattern, the waffle stitch would be a very warm sweater as well, I think. So that's one you guys have already seen. Now we're going to slowly scroll down and show you different ones. This one was just a plain knit back and forth that I made years ago, and I added thin stripes throughout it. Now, most of these scarves I do not have in my possession anymore. I donate them to like the homeless shelter, the women's shelter, Ronald McDonald House. Occasionally, I've donated winter items to my kids' schools when they were growing up, because they needed them or whatever. So, yeah, most of my winter stuff I do donate. But that one was just a fun boredom one day. Yeah, let's pick up some yarn and cast on some stitches and do some knitting. Nothing special about it. This one was crocheted, and I know it was done in the back loops, and it was I think it was either half doubles or double crochets in the back loop. I think it was half doubles, to be honest with you. Some of these I don't have a whole lot of details I could tell you about. This scarf you guys would have saw last year, 2024, in one of my videos. I know it was done with a Caron cake. Beautiful stitch. I wish I could remember what stitch it was, but it was nice and thick. It's warm. That one I still do have in my possession. I've got a couple scarves I've kept over the years, and that's one of them. I love how it turned out. And then this one, I had a kind of neat cabling stitch in the center of it. It was a little bit of a wider scarf. Again, that one was actually done with the Caron skinny cakes. My first time ever using a skinny cake. And I did do a video for it as well. I had a little complaints about the yarn itself, but worked through it, fixed, switched things around a little and made it work kind of thing. But that's another one I do believe still in my possession. Actually, I think that one might be at my camper. Beautiful scarf, though. Then this is another. That one may be the same one as up here. Let me double check. No. Nope, that one's a darker blue. This one's a darker blue. Actually, that one my son has, my older son. And then I did it another time in a lighter blue. I think that one went to donations. It was done the same way as the darker blue one. Then I just made this fun pink one. Just cast on a bunch of stitches, threw on a show or a movie on the TV, and just started knitting away. Nothing special. This one here I made more recently. I don't know the yarn, but it's kind of like a homespun yarn. And I actually think this one might be crocheted. And oh, so soft, so warm. It's great for a male, if you have a male in your life that you want to give a scarf to because of the color of it. But unfortunately, other than my older son taking the one blue one, my younger son, my husband, neither one of them really wear scarves. So, well, you're a lot of help. Then I had this one I made. I know this was pre-pandemic. And, oh, excuse me, sorry about that. I wish I could tell you more about the stitching on it. I do believe I kind of cast on a bunch of stitches, and every so often I would throw in pearls instead of knit or something like that. This one I do believe I still have. I'd have to pull it out, find it first, and then pull it out and have a look at it. But I do know it was knitting, and I do know occasionally instead of doing knit stitches, I did pearl stitches, which kind of gave it a funky texture. Can't remember any more about it. Don't recall if it was actual pattern or something I made up. I honestly couldn't tell you. I'm sorry about that. But I do love the way the yarn kind of worked itself with the pattern. Now this one, oh my goodness, I wish again I could remember the stitch. I do know the yarn I'd won it going back, thinking pre-pandemic or very early in the pandemic, but I think it was pre-pandemic. And I do know this was made with the Caron latte cakes. I do remember that. Very beautiful yarn. Oh my goodness. Yes, it's fuzzy. And I know some people have problems with using a fuzzy yarn. For myself, I would love to get a quantity of this yarn in a particular colorway, like pick a colorway and get plenty of it. And I would love to make myself a cardigan that kind of sits just a few inches below the hips, and then have a button band on the front of it, and make a cardigan sweater for myself out of this. It would be so warm, so comfortable, and oh my god, I would probably end up wearing the thing out where I'd have to make myself a second one because this is such a beautiful yarn. This one, I do know I have the scarf still. I kept it for myself because of the fact how warm it is. I thought if I gotta go out in those really, really cold days, I know this one's gonna keep me warm. But yeah, the yarn wasn't bad. Unfortunately, because of the fuzzy yarn, it is a crocheted scarf, but I couldn't tell you more about the stitches. And I know you really can't see the stitches in the photo. I'm sorry about that. Then there's this one. This was done with the Red Heart sachet yarn. And there's actually a bit of a story behind this one. One of the groups I participate in on Facebook, we have so many different squares to pick items from. And one of the squares, the title of that square was more or less along the lines, make something to make you think of there's someone, I think it was make something that makes you think of someone famous. And it could be the person itself, or, they're a singer or something like that. And I thought, okay, I don't know who I'm going to make something for or what I'm going to make. So I got kind of looking through some of my bins, and I found this sachet yarn, and it was all black except for the edging of it, which was a sparkly gold. And I thought, I got an idea. So I like, when I use the sachet yarn, I love to do knitting. I usually do 5 stitches wide, and I'll knit it back and forth to make the swirly sachet scarf. And when I got it all done, as you can see here, it turned out to be about 4.5, 5 feet long. It was a good size yarn, and it screamed Elton John. Once I got it all done, I looked at it, I thought, oh my god, I get the Elton John vibe. I don't know if you guys see it, but that's what I see. So that's why I entered into that one giveaway I made. And I thought this is, like, in my opinion, pretty perfect for, make something that makes you think of someone famous. And that was what I made. But it turned out beautiful. I loved it. Then there's this one. I wish I can remember. I know the yarn was Red Heart. Possibly Red Heart Stripes. I don't think that was the name of the yarn. But, beautiful yarn. I love the colorway. I've used it numerous of times. And it is a knitted scarf. It was like an 8-row, 10-row, or 12-row. I think it was actually a 12-row repeat. And just the way the color played with the width and the size of your needles and everything, I think it turned out really beautiful. I love this yarn. I've used it a few times in a few different projects. I just wish it was a little more softer like the Burnett, not so rough like the Red Heart. Love the yarn though. Love how the stitch really popped with the changing of the color, and the stripes are really thick on this, so you really got to see the stitch definition in that. This one is crocheted. I made it for fun years ago. I was learning how to do the popcorn stitch, in crochet. It was my cluster. Actually, I think this one was a popcorn stitch. First time ever doing a popcorn stitch. Originally the pattern's actually for the hearts and the size of squares, but it's for a blanket, a baby blanket. I just converted it into a scarf instead. But it was kind of fun. A bit of a yarn guzzler, though, when you do the popcorn stitch. I will agree with that. I've heard other people mention that in the past, and yes, I would agree. Then there's this one. I love this yarn. I believe it is... Oh my goodness, I'm drawing a blank, and I know somebody's going to be yelling at me through this computer in a moment. I believe it's the Unforgettable. Red Heart Unforgettable? Could be. I may be wrong on that. I do, however, know the stitch I made was the broom stitch. And the yarn worked out really beautiful in it. Now, I didn't use a broom handle. That's where that stitch initially came from. I have this in my possession. And this is the only thing I use this for, is for doing this stitch. But it is a crochet hook. It's got a pretty intense neck here. The elastic is because this part of it is the same width all the way, and the end is very rounded. So this is what I use for when I make the broomstick stitch. I could not tell you for the life of me what size this so-called crochet hook is. Like I said, I've never used it for crocheting purposes. But I do use it for when I'm doing the broomstick. And beautiful little scarf. It was very drapey. It was fun to do with the color work. Okay, let's see. This green scarf here was my very first, or early on, when I learned how to do the Tunisian stitch. It was kind of cute. It wasn't a very wide scarf nor long, but I did like it. It turned out kind of cute, and my tension actually turned out really well on it. No idea where that one could possibly be. I think it may have been a donation to the Ronald McDonald House, but I'm not sure. And then there's another sachet one. This yarn was given to me. All the sachet scarfy yarn was all given to me. And I got a lot of this colorway. I mean, a lot. I think I got 20 or 30 skeins of it. I don't know if it went on clearance at one point, and the person I got it from, or whomever they got it from, went and bought every single skein of this yarn in this colorway. I have no idea. I have made so many scarfies out of this yarn. Like the scarves, I've done different scrunchies out of this yarn as well. And I have so much more of it. I really don't know what to do with this colorway. Although I can honestly say the green, the orange, and the purple, not so much the blue, but the other three colors in the yarn gave me kind of like a Halloween vibe. So I whipped one of those up. Like, I found the scarfy yarns. I do, like I said, mine knitted. I know you can knit or crochet them. I do mine as a knit. And I just throw them on the needles, usually pop in a movie or a TV show, and go to town on them. Then I have this really pretty blue and green sachet scarf I made. They are a fun scarf, I will admit that. This yarn here, I think is the same brand, but different colorway as the broomstick one I showed you a few moments ago. Beautiful chevron pattern that I made it with, nice and drapey. One I donated as well. I do know this one is not in my possession anymore, but beautiful yarn. Okay, this one was just one I made. Again, I think that one site I use on Facebook that I participate in, one of the things was make something with Valentine's colors or something like that. And I decided the red, white striped scarf. I couldn't tell you the stitches. that was made so long ago, and I know I don't have it anymore. So, but there's another scarf I made. This one was about 4.5 inches wide. I believe I ended up measuring this one to be, and it was probably in around the 5 feet long. It was a good length because I used two different skeins of yarn, and because I was switching the colors, it helped obviously stretch the quantity out further. And I went till I was pretty much out of both colors, and it turned out really cute. This one I made for my one niece years ago because she will be 13 this year. And it had a crisscross stitch in it. That's all I could tell you about it. I don't remember anything more about it. I do know the colored section was a red heart variegate of some kind. But that's all I know about that yarn. Then I did a sachet one in black, white, gray colorway. I did one also in colorway blues, same type of yarn. Oh, and that would be the last one. So, hope you guys enjoyed the photos of past scarves I've made. I kind of went through my photo album on Facebook and picked out the ones that I really liked and thought, they had kind of a unique little tale about them or such. Can't wait to see what you guys have to share with us. Definitely, like I said, I'm enjoying this thing we're making Thursday. I hope they keep this up for many, many years. I'm enjoying it so much. Yes, we're going to run over repeats over the years because you can only come up with so many titles of items to make. But I definitely do very much enjoy things we're making Thursday. I hope you guys enjoyed my gallery. Like I said, it took me a moment to remember how do I share that again, but I figured it out. And I do like doing it this way better because I can see the screen of the one I pulled up and how I can control it. But then I can also see my recording screen and stuff and see that, yeah, it's showing it nice, size and view and whatever. So anyways, guys, have a great day. Next Thursday will be the 20th. I won't have a photo or a video for it. I want to show you, unless I happen to make another scarf, which I don't see happening. And then the Thursday after that, which will be the 27th, I will be putting out a video. It'll just be a quick one then. And it will be talking about what the theme will be for the month of March. So everybody have a great day, and I will talk to you guys all soon. Bye for now.